Well, I think it's kind of 2 weeks in a row where we playing pretty well, and something happens in the game. This mic is terrible. Something happens in the game. We end up throwing the pick six with an opportunity to go up 24-3, makes it a 17-10 game. And then we have the opportunity there. We score to start the second half. We get the stop and score to start the second half. And we have a really poor series backed up. And, you know, for us as a team to go where we want to go, we can't just hold on. And we can't think to hold on because a couple things don't go our way. You know, we have to think that something good is right around the corner, and the only way it's going to show itself is if we execute our jobs really well. And I think right now we're in a space where we get a lead, something doesn't go our way, and we harbor a little bit of the negative thoughts, and ultimately those negative thoughts creep into cautious play, uncertainty, and ultimately errors. And we had some untimely errors today that were crucial. I thought our defense held on probably about as long as they could. They were playing fine. We had a couple big penalties on third down that affected, and we gave up some points. But I thought they held on as long as they could. But you can't go 4 and out 4 times in a row, 3 and out. I think it was 4 times in a row, and expect those guys just to keep holding up and keep holding on. And ultimately, the dam broke. They got the lead, and we couldn't execute enough offensively to get it back. So we've got a great challenge ahead of us to get us to play to our capability. And today we did not play to our capabilities. So bye's probably coming at a good time because as much as it is schematically, I think there's some things we need to work on mentally from a psyche standpoint for us to be the team that I know we're capable of being. So that's that. A couple injury things. Obviously, Overshawn had the concussion, and then Crawford had a hamstring. That's why I didn't see those two guys. So, questions?
You have a question? We'll start on the right with Sam.
Hey, Steve, when you look at the struggles offensively in these second halves, where is the biggest culprit? Is it just not getting a hat on the hat up front? Is it just not executing the plays overall? What is it that you see that's the biggest problem?
Well, I think quite frankly, we're all kind of taking turns, you know. For whatever reason, we've had a couple different false starts, which we don't have early in the game, but for some reason they rear their ugly head. We have 2 issues on snaps. We don't block the same play versus the same front like we blocked it earlier in the game. So ultimately, somewhere in there, that's where I'm talking about that uncertainty in our mind and the cautiousness and not executing with a level of confidence like we do early in the game. Ultimately, that's on me. I've got to get that fixed and get us to a point to where we're believing in what we're doing like we're doing earlier in the ball game. Because football is 60 minutes, and this has been 2 weeks in a row where whether we're just trying to hold on as opposed to attacking, but we have to get it rectified because you can't play the way we played the second half of this game or the second half of last week's game and be the team that we want to be. The thing is, we're capable of it because we show it. Now we've got to sustain that throughout the whole entire ball game, and that is the issue, and that's what we got to get fixed.
In the middle, Brian.
Steve, only 12 yards on the last 6 drives, and you mentioned a lot of different possible things. As you're watching it, is it just this issue here, or is there a major theme of the confidence?
I think I just answered it.
Right. Okay. So, were there any second half adjustments you could have made to break you guys out of that funk?
Well, you just try to get back to doing things that they believe in, and the things that we executed earlier in the game to give them a chance to find that groove, find that rhythm again, which is what you try to do. You try to get the offensive line some confidence. You try to get the quarterback some confidence, the runner some confidence, everybody. And there's that fine line of what's the best call for the situation, but also what's the best call for the players to go out and execute and get some confidence.
Coach, you were pretty confident about your team prior to the season, but are there certain things that aren't really revealed until the bullets start flying, until you get into live action, that you're starting to learn about them now?
I think that's fair. I think like anything, practice only shows you so much about individual players, about schemes, about, offense, defense, special teams, and then your overall team. And like anything, as you navigate your way through a season, things show up, and then it's our job as coaches to try to get those things fixed as quickly as possible. And sometimes it's individual players or technique or scheme, or sometimes it's psyche. And to me, coming out of this game, it was about psyche. And now seeing it 2 weeks in a row, really, where we can't play cautious. We can't play trying to hold on. And I think that we do that. I think that we just are just hoping the other team might make a mistake. And Oklahoma State didn't make the mistakes. They just kind of kept playing their game. And ultimately, we made the mistakes that caused them to get back into the game and then ultimately take the lead and win the game.
On your left, John.
Coach, you say you got some things to work on mentally over this break. What do you say to them? Because you probably talked to them to the blue in the face about believe in playing 60 minutes. What do you say to them? And what goes through your mind when you sense that something is going wrong? Because, like you said, it's happened 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, I think one is you have to address it head on. I don't think that we can act as if nothing is an issue there. Clearly, it's like anything. If we weren't playing a certain coverage right, we would address it and we would try to fix it. That's our issue, so we have to address it. We have to do the things necessary to work on it. You have to put in the time to do it. I don't think it's about talk. I think we have to work on specific things to address it, so that when those situations come up again, we don't get stuck in that low, and that we get ourselves back into a really clear state of mind with confidence and belief in executing what we're capable of doing.
Middle, Bob.
How do you you talked about the dam breaking late in the fourth quarter. How do you kind of evaluate where the run defense is right now?
Well, I thought we were playing fine, but ultimately, when you go 3 and out 4 consecutive series, that's tough, man. I mean, we did not play very good complementary football again, in late into the third quarter and then in the fourth quarter. We just didn't. And teams win championships, not one side of the ball or one area of your team. It's an overall team thing that win ball games and ultimately win championships. And that takes complementary football. That's everybody playing together. That's when one side is maybe struggling, the other one can pick it up for a little bit until the other one can get going. And we didn't do that today. And it's really been 2 straight weeks where we haven't done that, where offensively things are going good. And then it's okay to have a 3 and out now and then. It's okay to have maybe even 2, but to go 4 in a row, that's tough, because sooner or later, you get out of a gap or you get cut off, and then the ball spits out, and you end up with some fatigue. I mean, that's just football, and that's why it's a complementary game. It's not about one side or the other. It's about playing collectively as a team, and we haven't done a great job of that for 2 weeks now.
On your left, Kurt.
Yeah, Steve, just to get into the weeds a little bit on the offense, Keelan Robinson, I think he had, 1 carry, 1 touch today, and you didn't seem to use the tight ends very much. And do you find yourself thinking, wow, may need some kind of trick play, gadget play like Gundy was trying just to change the momentum and make a first down?
No, I don't disagree. I don't think, trick plays are great when they work, and sometimes they can cause for some negative plays. And, we actually had something in mind that we didn't get the look that we wanted and how to get out of it. Ultimately, to me, when things aren't going your way, I think you have to try to get back into executing. And how do you get all 11 guys just doing their job for numerous plays in a row to try to get momentum back? And we've struggled at that for the last couple weeks when things didn't go our way. And as much of anything, that's on me getting them back. And how do I get them back? And in what frame of mind and state of mind do I get them to get them back? But that's a great challenge, and that's why we coach, and that's why we do what we do and love what we do. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and we've obviously got a great challenge ahead of us, and we'll welcome the challenge. We've got work to do, and we'll make it happen.
Stay on the left, Danny.
Steve, can I just get your thoughts on the loss of DeMarvion, what that kind of did for your defense, and also Jalen stepping up and having a big game?
Yeah, I mean, DeMarvion's obviously a great player. He's an impactful player for us on defense. He's an impactful player for us on special teams. You know, he has playmaking ability, that for sure. But I thought Jalen Ford did a nice job. You know, we got to look at the tape and see how it all played out. But I thought Jalen stepped in, made plays. You know, but hopefully we can get DeMarvion back.
In the back middle, Nathan.
Hey, Steve, who makes those decisions when it comes to the offensive line, guys coming in and out? And do you have an injury update on Jake Majors?
That's a collective, you know, between Coach Flood and I of what we were trying to get done. You know, obviously with Tope making his first start, we wanted to make sure that we kind of rolled him some with Hayden. We felt like, you know, at left tackle, having Andre and Christian work there. You know, then when Jake went down, Derek had to go to center and Andre went to right tackle. So is it ideal? No, but that's kind of where we're at up front. You know, we've got to give some guys opportunities and see what they can do.
Stay on the right. Jeff.
Sark, Casey, you know, came in with a thumb from last week, and he took a really good shot in the third quarter. Through all that, how would you evaluate his play today?
I've seen Casey play better, but I think in the end, as much as it is, you know, I think Casey can play better. I think we can play better. I think we can coach better. I think we can play better. I've seen us play better. I've seen us play better in the first half of the game. So, you know, I hate to keep coming back to it, but we showed against the defense today to play really well. And somewhere in there, things didn't go our way. A couple backed up series where we didn't play great. We have to find a way to getting back to the execution piece of it when things aren't going our way. And that's been it's been a common theme here for 2 weeks. And so if clearly we've got an issue there that we have to work on. And it's not just Casey. I think it's everybody involved.
On your left over here.
Hey, Steve, they grabbed the momentum with that pick six. What were your conversations like with the guys at the half because you were still ahead?
The reality of it is we were playing really well as a team. I thought our defense played, really good football in the first half. Offense was moving the ball. They get the pick six and was like, hey, let's just, recalibrate. Let's get back to work. I thought we did a great job. We went out on defense. We start the second half. We get a stop. We get the ball on offense. We move down the field, touchdown. But we can't relax. And I think somewhere in there, maybe there was a sense of relaxing, like, okay, we extended the lead back. And you can't play football like that. You can't play football holding on. You have to stay aggressive. We have to be smart, but you have to stay aggressive. And somewhere in there, we lost our stinger and we lost our focus.
Last one, Sam on the right.
Steve, you mentioned a lot of mistakes and penalties. I'm curious how deflating the 2 personal fouls that extended their drives were defensively for you guys.
Yeah, those are big plays. I didn't have a great look at the horse collar on their sideline. Obviously, we forced the third down stop, and they called Ray for roughing the quarterback. It's a tough call. I have to again look at that specifically. It was a nice play by Ray. I don't know exactly what he did for that to get called. But those are tough when you get off the field on third down, and then you got to play again. We can overcome it. We've shown that we can, but when you do it more than once in game, those are hard things to overcome.